He's at 25 stons at 5'10". He fights out of Team Monkey MMA Academy and hails from Oldham, Ashley Reece. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, weighed in at 70.6. He's at 23 stons at 5'10". He fights out of Reps MMA and hails from Preston and is the current FCC lightweight champion, Martin Chester. Your referee, Mr. Dean Weir.
And this highly anticipated bout is sponsored by Better Body Supplements, providing the highest quality products to athletes. You can visit them at their website, www.betterbodysupplements.com. And here we go, Brad.
We are underway, no touch of the gloves in this one. Ashley Reece in the black compression shorts, Martin Chester in the black with red trim. And it's Chester taking the centre of the cage. Reece firing off the right hook there, doesn't find a home. Reece with the body kick, and there's a huge left hand from Martin Chester. He goes for the guillotine.
And a great recovery there from Ashley Reece, who was dropped there and in a very dangerous position. Left his neck exposed, and Chester was straight onto that, and he weathered it well. But an early scare there from Ashley Reece.
Looks like Reece is back in this now. Oh, a nice knee up the middle from Martin Chester. And answer back from Reece. All action here in the first round of this 5-round FCC amateur lightweight title fight. Chester looking for the takedown on the cage. Gets it. Reece fighting him every step of the way though, Jez.
And this is something we said about earlier, didn't we, Brad? There was no doubt that Martin Chester would be able to get Ashley Reece down. It's whether or not he'll be able to keep him down. That's going to be a critical point. And I think that's something that Ashley Reece will have been working a hell of a lot on over the last few weeks.
Absolutely, but Chester's on his back, and Martin Chester is so good from this position. Reece able to get out and back up though. Great defensive work from Ashley Reece here, Jez.
And that's what we saw, and that's what we said that could be decided, could be decisive for Ashley Reece. But he is cut, he's bleeding out of the nose.
Ashley Reece with the plum clinch now. Big knees to the head and body of Martin Chester. Right hand follows up. Chester looking to close the gap. Another knee from Reece.
And this is an absolute scrap. These guys are no doubt feeling this early on. What a fantastic exchange so early on in this first round here at Full Contact Contender.
Reece going to the body with these knees. Not much landing clean. Needs to stop and pick his shots. Chester shoots for the double. Great defensive work again from Reece, preventing the takedown thus far.
Ozzy was screaming out, trying to get Ashley to move the fight back over into his corner. One thing Ashley does benefit from his corner is a very loud Javon Morrison.
Not landing in that exchange, but going back to the body is Ashley Reece. Doing some great work to the body here in this first round. Oh, that's a huge left hand. Chester going for the guillotine choke, doesn't get it. Unbelievable finish to that first round. And Ashley Reece is on wobbly legs. Ashley Reece on wobbly legs there.
Saved by the bell. Second time that Reece has been dropped by Martin Chester. First at the very, very opening moments, and then at the very closing.
And it was that same punch as well. I believe it was the left hook that did it. It was a left hook. We've not really seen the power striking of Martin Chester up until now, but he really is efficient in all areas. Never won by knockout, Martin Chester, but he's come very close on 2 occasions here today, Jez. Ashley Reece looking fully recovered. He was on wobbly legs to end that first round, looking fit and fresh here.
But certainly Martin Chester will be taking a huge amount of confidence from that. But then, same time, Reece, up until that closing moment, he looked like he might be taking advantage into the second round.
Jez, we said all week that this is the fight we're looking forward to, and we're seeing exactly why here tonight at FCCA. All action in this amateur lightweight title bout between Ashley Reece and the reigning champion Martin Chester. Referee Dean Weir just cleaning up the cage.
And we've got one man to thank for that, Brad, haven't we, really? Our promoter, Adam Tay, who really does put on some cracking fights for us here, and has done for the last 2 years with the help of Jamie Hay.
Second round starts, again no touch of gloves, straight to business for these two fighters. Searching right hand from Reece, stalking Martin Chester. Chester again trying to throw that left hook. He lands again.
But Reece needs to get his hands up. He's dropping his hands and he's allowing Chester to find a spot.
Chester finding a home for those punches. Looking very determined is Martin Chester. He's been able to pick a few holes in the game of Reece in the stand-up. Reece, though, going straight back to work to the body with those knees.
And Brad sees firsthand what a bloody contest it is. As blood splatters my co-commentator here, cage side.
Ashley Reece going to work. Hooks to the head. Chester covering up.
And the crowd.
Knees from the clinch from Ashley Reece. Chester gets the single leg and takes the fight to the floor.
And what an incredible second round, with an absolute treat. Ashley Reece is really taken an absolute beating though. I fear he's had his hands lows down and he's allowed Chester to find a number of big right and lefts. Certainly been very accurate with that left on a couple of times. We saw him drop Ashley Reece twice in the opening round and he's finding it again, but
these knees not landing clean. Chester blocking him, ducks under the right hand, gets another takedown. A lot of blood coming from the nose of Ashley Reece, and you've got to wonder how this is going to affect his breathing as this fight wears on.
Yeah, and Chester now finding his way into mount.
Martin Chester straight into mount. Flattening his man out, he's going to look to posture up and land some strikes from this position, surely. But good. Ashley Reece bucks him off. Great defensive work here from Reece.
That's that good explosive athletic ability from Ashley that we come to know, and is such a strength for him.
Reece pushing his man on the cage and again going to the body and the head with those wide, powerful hooks.
Both fighters.
The centre of the cage. Martin Chester putting his hands on his hips there. Chester again landing, catching Reece on the way, and that's a huge body shot, and that's hurt Martin Chester. Reece following up with huge knees to the head. Chester fighting back. Oh, Reece with a big knee kick to the body. Ashley Reece unloading everything on Martin Chester, but Chester comes back and he survives the round. What a fight here at FCCA.
Oh, this is turning into a classic, and the fans here at Full Contact Contender show their appreciation. The crowd are up on their feet, we're up on our feet. Incredible display by both fighters.
And the atmosphere here at FCCA is electric.
And Ashley Reece really gave so much at the end to try and finish off Martin Chester. He ran out of time, it wasn't enough, he came so close. He's looking exhausted there, he's struggling to stand, but
he looked like he put everything into that final combination. I don't think you're ever going to come as close to finishing a fight without actually finishing it as that, Jeff.
Well, both of them have. Martin Chester in the first, and then Ashley Reece in the second. But this is the first real considerable test we've really seen Martin Chester face. Okay, we saw Lee Richardson really put a decent ground game and threat against, but...
Oh, and there's a huge right hand, and a knee to follow! Ashley Reece all over Martin Chester at the start of the 4th round. Landing huge shots. Chester trying to keep busy, covering up and moving. And it's done right! And we have a new champion! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Ashley Reece with an incredible victory here in the 3rd round.